Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. I'm David Norman here in Sydney, Australia at Aquarian Pearls, and super delighted to be with Jennifer Heebner, who is the director of the Cultured Pearl Association of America, and will explain to us all about that. But Jennifer, welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. Great to be with you in America.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Nice to be here. You've had a lot of esteemed guests, so I'm flattered that you would ask me to join.
I'm so glad. Well, you know everyone in the pearl world, and you've been in the jewelry business for ages and ages. So, can I start off asking you though where you grew up and what you studied, and then I know you have been a journalist for a long time, but how you got into all of that, your sort of life story.
Sure. Well, I'm from the Philadelphia area, the suburbs of Philadelphia, and been here my whole life. My husband and I still live here in the suburbs of Philly, and loved writing. So studied English literature in college, actually. And people said to me, "What are you going to do with an English degree?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know, but I'll figure it out because that's what I like to do. I like to write." So I get my English degree from Immaculata University. It's a small private, it was a woman's college at that time in the suburbs of Philly. And then I finished, and, I had done stringing jobs, like as a stringer for a newspaper in the area around Immaculata. But then I was able to get a job at a publishing house called Chilton. It was a big publisher at the time of many different trade magazines. So I wrote about automotive collision repair for 2 years. And it was super fascinating because there are a lot of parallels to the medical world. And my husband is a family practitioner. So it was really interesting. And then I moved to industrial safety and hygiene news, which is a very sexy topic, but also very interesting in its own way. And then I moved to jewelry, and I just stayed because the people were so lovely. I had great bosses for a long time. The subject matter, of course, is a lot of fun. The people were a lot of fun to interview. So I've been in jewelry for almost 25 years.
Oh, fantastic. And which publications were you mainly with?
Well, I was always with JCK, Jeweler Circular
Yes.
Keystone. So I spent 19 years there, left, I guess 4 years ago, and went freelance. And, I've been writing, I'm still very much a journalist. So I write for the Gem Guide, the Jewelry Book, Rappaport. I started my own editorial website. I freelance for other things as they come up. And then Jeremy Shepard of pearlparadise.com. I'd interviewed him at JCK, for years. He was my Pearl contact, thought very highly of him. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're looking to do something fun at CPAA, Culture Pearl Association. Would you help us promote pearls?" And I said, "Well, I'm not a PR person. I'm never going to be your PR person. But if I just get to, write about pearls and interview the people and just help promote them in fun ways, yeah, I'd be up for that because, the people in the pearl world are wonderful." So he said, "Yes, that's great." So I interviewed and they brought me on, and I've just had so much fun in this position for, almost 4 years now. We started a magazine in December 2020, a digital magazine called #ThisIsPearl. That's our signature hashtag. We've done some, fun collaborations with the Tahitian Pearl, the government of French Polynesia, rather. We're launching one pretty soon where it's a Tahitian Pearl capsule collection with a very high profile jewelry designer who's never worked with pearls before. So we're excited to do that. And we're just always looking for really fun ways to promote pearls, to elevate them in the spotlight, in the trade, in the eyes of consumers. We have a super robust Instagram account at Pearls CPAA. So we do a lot on there. We do a lot of Instagram lives with members. We cast a spotlight on our members on the Instagram account. And, we're always looking for different ways to elevate pearls and to, get them featured more often in editorial and, get them in front of consumers.
That's just fantastic. And it's such a established part of the jewelry business, of course, in the United States. The pearls have, since Mikimoto first brought pearls to America back, way back when, pearls have been such an intrinsic part. And you must, in your career then, have met some truly amazing people within the. You must have met everybody actually within the pearl world, because it might be just that I grew up in a pearl family and I'm number 5 in a row in generations, and I've got a nephew, Charlie, in London, who's number 6 in a row. But the pearl people do seem to be quite characters. In everybody's an individual, like all, how we have this tagline, every pearl is unique. The pearl people really are all wonderful and individual, and it's a very beautiful business to be in. I think we're very lucky.
It is a beautiful business. There's something about the pearl people, and I love all my friends in colored stones also, but something about the pearl people where they're super warm. They're just really, there's just really a strong human element there where it's very easy to connect with them. And I think that has to do with the pearls themselves, because you have to have such love and patience to grow a cultured pearl. And I think that, spills over into the individuals who grow them for sure. That they're just these extra warm and special people. So I've had this, love of pearls personally. As a journalist, they were all, at JCK, they were always my favorite thing to write about, because people had this idea of them as this very like classic category. And I didn't see them, I saw them the opposite. I thought, my God, there's just so much you can do with them. So much. You have to be so creative to work with pearls, and the designs are extra creative. People have this idea that it's just the white pearl, and there's so much more to them. So I loved writing about them. I loved interviewing all the pearl people, and they just became a little niche that I loved, so that it made sense for me to come work with CPAA, where I could talk about them even more. So yeah, I love the people. I don't know if I know as many people as you do in pearls though, David. I know I've been fortunate to meet quite a few, and interview quite a few, but I don't know if I know quite as many as you, but.
I know a lot of people, but not very well, but and
we all do.
Yes, but it's a thing that occurred to me some time ago, that when you go to a funeral and you find out all these things about people that you didn't know, like I didn't know about Raymond Mastaloni Senior's time in the Korean War, serving in the forces, for example, or these sorts of things, and you just know the people as pearl dealers as such. But when you get to know people a bit and ask all these questions, you find out where people grew up and their love of jewelry and pearls, and it's everyone's fascinating. And I love, I've got friends in opals and colored stones and diamonds. I think all the jewelry people are a character. Maybe though, if we were plumbers, we'd all be, maybe all humans are characters, because we've all got idiosyncrasies. But I guess I was just addicted to pearls from a young age. But have there been any, it's not really fair to ask you this, but have there been any sort of, over your 25 years of journalism, have there been any standout people that you were amazed by, that when you got to interview them in a way?
I think the obvious one is Jeremy Shepherd, because he's just such a powerhouse in so many different ways. That the fact that Jeremy, I'm impressed with self-made people, and Jeremy was a flight attendant, and started buying pearls on trips, and got into pearls that way. And he's so intelligent, and he's just so devoted to mastering a subject matter. So he's fascinating, because he just dives in. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to master this. I have an interest. I'm going to learn everything there is about it. And he's so well connected with people also. So I always loved interviewing him, because he was such a wealth of information, and because of his background. Like, he wasn't into a family of pearlers like many people are. So he was self-taught, had this self-interest. So Jeremy was always fascinating. I think one of the first important pearl people I interviewed was Banis Bazar of Imperial Pearl.
Yes.
And I remember being a very young reporter, and approaching the booth and speaking to him, and just like, oh, this guy's really important. So my questions better be, okay here. But he was very patient with me, and a lovely man. And then getting to know, Peter and Imperial, and then his son, and Kathy Grenier has been a dear friend of mine for years. And then it was kind of a surprise when this opportunity came up. We never thought we'd work together, in this kind of capacity. So she had been a dear friend for years, and now, I get to work with her. So there
Fantastic.
are, yeah, a lot of individuals, and it's just, very interesting how this played out. And Neil Malou, I always was a big fan of Baggins Pearls and interviewed him quite often. The
Yes.
Jewel Mare, I was fortunate to visit their farm a number of years ago, and that was before my time at CPAA. So it was just, and that's such a humbling experience. You've probably been there, right?
I
It's
haven't actually.
You
No,
haven't.
no,
Okay.
no.
And everyone who'd been there before me said, this is a life-changing experience. And once I got there, I realized to see how the Branilac family cares for the people on those remote islands, how they care for their employees. It really is such a work of love, a labor of love for them to grow these pearls, because the people involved have to be loved as well. And, that's the only way you're going to get the beautiful pearls. So learning about their experience and their efforts firsthand, it was so humbling. I just remember myself like, what am I doing here? Who am I to be among these people? Because they were just so awe-inspiring. They were just so amazing. And I was just really taken away with them and their generosity and their efforts. So, they're just, I have tremendous respect for them, for that family.
I've seen beautiful footage of Mozart music being played to the oysters to keep them calm in the Philippines. And also just you just feel that there's so much love for the
Yeah.
pearl in the Branelec
Mhm.
family and all the workers.
Mhm.
It's conveyed in the pearls, and the pearls all seem to carry an energy. I love the
Yeah.
golden pearls,
Yeah.
and they're such an amazing family. Yeah, I had the great
Mhm.
honor to interview Jacques and Jacques Junior, and they're
Oh,
just,
okay.
it's so hard to convey how
Yeah.
much they've done for Tahitian pearls first, and now for golden
Yes.
pearls, putting them on the map. Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you ever interview Salvador Asael as well in your
No, no,
travels?
he
No.
was before my time.
Yes,
Before my
he
time. I
was
know
another
Chris.
one of those larger than life characters who were amazing,
I bet.
and it's amazing how Mrs. Asael has carried on the business and built a brand, and that's an amazing story too.
Christina is a wonderful human being. I love her, and I love Peggy Gross, who's the director of business development at SAL. She's a wonderful friend, and I just feel so fortunate to work with all these wonderful human beings who I really truly like and respect. It's
Yes,
just such a privilege to be surrounded by all these folks.
yes, yes. We're so
And
lucky too to be in. I'm in Sydney, Australia, and of course we have access to the Paspaley family and the Autore family and
yeah,
the Kalis family in West Australia, and
okay,
they're totally a special breed, the pearl people, and it
yeah.
must be such a delight at the Cultured Pearl Association of America to actually, you're on the cutting edge of what's going on. So how the Tahitians, the French Polynesians, especially with COVID, because where are we? We're at August 2021. And I would imagine French Polynesians had so much difficulty. They lost most of their technicians that went back for Chinese New Year in 2020, and just getting the
Yeah.
pearls to market. It's so the more publicity we can all do for Tahitian pearls, the better.
Yeah, I wrote about, did you read my article about the Tahitian pearl industry? I think it was on my website, jenniferheebner.com, back in January or February 2021.
Yes,
Did you read that?
I didn't get that. I'm going to go to it
Okay.
straight after now, Jennifer, and read up.
It was so fascinating. COVID hit so many industries so hard, and to learn that such a large percentage of the grafters in French Polynesia are from China, and they all went home for Chinese New Year, and most of them didn't come back. And it's like, well, how do you hustle to graft to have enough material? So that whole story was fascinating, and I felt really fortunate that the government was so kind enough to talk to me very openly about it. And it was, yeah, I was just really excited to write that story because it's a really meaningful one. It has so many implications for fine jewelry, and people just really, they don't realize it yet. Like within the next couple of years, it's going to be hard to find Tahitian pearls because of the grafting situation. And, this August right now, we're celebrating I believe it's the 60th anniversary of Black Tahitian pearls. So that's something we're going to cover in a future issue, maybe the October issue of our the CPAA's This is Pearl magazine. So we'll dive into that a little bit in there. But yeah, there's so many fun things. I just nerd out over pearls. There's so many great topics to cover, and I love writing about all of it. It's so much fun.
And for you, our lovely viewers, we'll post links to Jennifer's newsletters and Jennifer's writings and the Cultured Pearl Association of America, of course. And Jennifer, could I ask you a question for the future generations that I love to ask interviewees, which is,
Sure.
what would you, if you were chatting to a young lady who was contemplating, or a young gentleman contemplating to enter the world of jewelry as a journalist or as a jeweler, or a pearl man or a woman, or any of these, any entree into jewelry, what would you say to them?
I think there's still a place for journalism in various industries. You have to work hard. You really have to hustle and work hard, get to know the people in your niche, and just, be available and be visible is so important in fine jewelry. Going to the shows, being there, that's where you're going to get the stories. That's where you're going to connect with people, picking up the phone, calling people. Email's very easy, but you need to pick up the phone and call people. Basically, you just have to hustle, but you can have a strong career in various industries. And, in pearls, a career in pearls, I mean, there's lots of opportunities. You can take the CPAA's Amazing Pearls is One course, which is at pearlsisone.org. If you use the coupon code Tahiti Free, you can take the course for free. It's a $6.99 value, or maybe $5.99 value, but we give it away for free thanks to the government of French Polynesia. They've made it available for everyone to take for no cost. And you can have a career in retail sales and wholesale pearls. There's lots of opportunities for you. I think you just have to think about where you'd like to be. Do you want to be facing the customer? Do you want to work with designers and sell loose pearls? There are plenty of amazing family-run businesses in the pearl world that, they're always looking for committed, hardworking people who are going to love the product. In order for a consumer to love pearls, in order for us to sell more pearls, you have to love pearls. And then you have to convey that love and understanding for the category to the consumer or to the salesperson. And that's how we're going to see pearls get more, become even more important as they are. They are a small percentage compared to diamond sales. They're a small percentage of what we sell at jewelry only stores in the United States, but there's so much opportunity for growth. And we have seen pearls command such a spotlight in the fashion world for the past, upwards of 10 years. They have been all over the runways. They continue to be. They're written about all the time now by the consumer magazines, which is really helpful. It gets consumer eyeballs on pearls, gets them thinking, about pearls more often. Oh, it's not just my grandmother's white strand. There's lots of ways to wear them. I would love to see even more innovative pearl designs get airplay, get magazine play, because it's not just a white strand. There are blue Akoyas, there are white Tahitian South Seas. I just photographed some 2 weeks ago. There's just so many different varieties, and we just have to keep putting that material out there, putting the pictures out there, sharing wonderful designers, the works of designers, and we'll keep the spotlight on pearls. That's what we're trying to do, David.
That's just fantastic, Jennifer. You're doing a brilliant job. It's amazing how good the CPAA is and how much it helps all of us in the business and promote pearls and keep our absolute love of pearls alive. And Jennifer, it's been a great pleasure to be with you today. Great honor. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot, David. It's a pleasure.